Trained Alumni Spotlights. And I have the distinct honor and pleasure of introducing all of you guys to Mr. Marco Fontana. Marco was our #1 sales representative in the summer of 2018. Still holds our office fast start record in the first 10 days of sales. Did over $16,000 in sales in his first 10 days on the job, and still holds that record to this day. So, Marco, it's great. Thank you for being on today for the interview. I appreciate it wholeheartedly. So to start up today, Marco, do you just want to give a little bit of your background to everybody, a little bit of who you are?
Sure. Thanks for having me, Aaron. Marco, that's my name. I'm from Brantford, Connecticut. Went to Hamden Hall for about 14 years, what they call lifers, pre-K to 12th grade. Graduated high school, went to Ithaca College, studied business, and I had a concentration in sport management. That's where I am today. Basically, I graduated in May. So, we're stuck in a pandemic, but that's a little brief synopsis about what I did. So,
and how have you been holding up in the pandemic life, Marco?
Yeah, all things considered, it's not that bad. Healthy, family's healthy and good, so can't complain.
Did you have a good Thanksgiving yesterday, by the way?
Yeah. How about you?
Fantastic. My wife fed me way too much food.
We
had a prime rib and a turkey for 3 people. It was entirely too much food for the amount of people that we had there. But so thinking back to your first summer, Marco, and I remember when you first came in. I remember interviewing you, and you were just always this very polished, very sharp individual. And besides that, I think one of the things, and I mentioned this in my post on Facebook, but one of the things that just impresses me about you, Marco, is you're probably one of the most genuine, honest, just humble people I've ever had the pleasure of working with. I know you're always just posting stuff on Facebook about things. You're always reaching out to me. We always send holiday texts to each other. And you really haven't been working here in the last couple of years. Yeah, I've been a little bit part-time with COVID and everything like that. But I feel like you're a good friend these days. And it's one of my favorite parts of my job is when people leave and we still have great relationships moving forward. But thinking back to when you were first starting the job, Marco, were you nervous at all when you first started the job at all? What were you feeling when you first started to get into it?
Yeah. So first of all, appreciate you. Our friendship has grown a lot since I've been working there, and throughout college and everything. You've been a real good mentor for me. So beginning, definitely nervous. Didn't know anything about sales. It's nerve-wracking to pick up that phone for the first time. So I had that going through my head and just kind of leaned into the mentorship that you gave us and the rest of the leadership team at Vector to basically guide me throughout that first 10 days and so on throughout the rest of the summer. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's just overcoming those nerves. The hardest part about anything is always getting started. So once you get on a little bit of a roll, it starts to feel a little easier and you get comfortable. So yeah, I was nervous at first though.
Yeah. And then when did you realize that you knew that you could actually do this?
I would say halfway into my fast start. I was launched on probably a Wednesday or Thursday, whatever the training ended. And I had that first weekend. It went well. Had a couple of orders, and I was starting to feel good about where I was with learning the product, interacting with people. I've always been good with people, just sort of conversationally, and it comes naturally to me. But to move that into a business setting was a big step for me. So that first weekend really solidified in my mind that I could do this.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're being a little humble there, Marco. You dropped $7,200 in your first weekend. Had a really big order in one of your first few presentations as well. Really hot off the gate. But Marco, I've seen so many people in the past where they have great weekends like that, but they take their foot off the gas. Apologize, 1 second. Where people take their foot off the gas and they don't continue having that success that you had. And obviously, you sold over $7,000 your first weekend, and you just kept the pedal to the metal and dropped over $6,000 in your first 10 days on the job. Now, thinking back to obviously you've been a little bit in and out of Vector for the last few months. Again, I know you've been selling kind of part-time just to make some extra cash, but and you left for a year. What did you learn while you were here that has allowed you to be successful in all the other things in your life? I know you mentioned in the bio that you sent me that you were ahead of the ticket sales for your college at Ithaca. You broke the Division III football record for attendance to a game at MetLife Stadium. So feel free to elaborate on that a little bit and the skill sets that you gained while working here, Marco.
Sure. So Cortica 2019 was probably one of the best, if not the best, sporting event I've ever been to. Super surreal for me to be part of that. Really loved being part of like the workings of ticket sales and leading into my internship and career at the Mets. So basically, I had a team of like 15 or so students, and we did all the marketing, promotions, and operations for a large sales event on campus, selling tickets to our student faculty and staff, which our sales with Cortland Sales eventually accumulated to break the record. Mm-hmm. And that basically, it comes down to a lot of preparation, communication, and I learned all those skills like time management with you at Vector, just sort of being able to block out parts of my day because I was a student athlete at the same time too. So I had class, practice. I had to make sure that I was on time to everything and getting everything done. So basically, learning those skills from you the couple summers before were huge. Being able to schedule a full week of sales for Vector around an internship and playing summer baseball. So that would be a big one for me, time management. Awesome. And then the other one is just like the more reps you get, like working in sales, the more confident and personally you can be with different walks of life and different people that you come across. So I would be interacting with a lot of different people, whether it was the administration at Ithaca or the people like the students that were my age. So I had a lot of like different types of people that I was talking to and meeting on a daily basis. So I would just say time management and communication skills are two big things that I learned from you that I brought there.
Cool. Awesome. And I'll elaborate a little more on that. Kind of think about, feel free to, this could be like with management stuff, like fun stuff that we did. But what one or two favorite experiences while you were working here over that time period?
Sure. So the first thing that comes to mind is the SC2 push, because that is towards the end of the summer when I first started. So I basically was in the group for like a week or so, and then I got to be part of this amazing push period where we have a conference and everybody goes to the Marriott down in Stamford. We have a great time, talent show, get to meet a lot of people and intermingle throughout like everybody in the Northeast, and just felt a lot of love from the community as far as different branches and people coming out, reaching out to me because I was new to the group. So being part of that really helped me like get going and feel comfortable with the group moving forward. Mm-hmm. And then another thing that I really liked, there's not really a moment that I can like put this on, but like we would always have our staff meetings like at the end of a work week or phone jam, and just like have some fun at the end of a staff meeting, whether we're like playing like water pong or have a water balloon throwing contest, like just like stuff, team building. Those are the things I remember.
Yeah, I remember. We've done we've done that water balloon fight. I think 5 years in a row. Unfortunately, it got ruined this year. But a lot of things have due to the COVID and everything like that. And especially something I kind of want to bring about next. And I know you just recently graduated from Ithaca this past May. You carried a lot of the experience and skill sets that you gained here, and you carried that into an amazing internship with the New York Mets in the summer of 2029. And I remember that conversation well, that January, like, you came, it was a sad moment for me, but you came up to me at the end of January. It's like, Aaron, I got this internship. Like, I know we were kind of prepping for a branch and everything for that summer. And I wish you told me at the beginning so I could write, I always mention this in training. I wish I could have written you a little reference for that. But thinking back to like, how did working here really allowed you to succeed at a really high level in that internship at the Mets? That, I mean, obviously, congratulations. You kind of carried that into a full-time job once, kind of COVID, everything kind of ends. We'll talk about that in a moment. But feel free to elaborate on that.
Yeah, so I always knew I wanted to work in sports. Sports are a huge part of my life growing up and playing college, baseball. Baseball is my favorite sport. So specifically baseball I was looking to work in. And an opportunity came around with the Mets. Throughout college, I wasn't really sure what part of the sports industry I'd work out to be in. There's a ton. It's a huge industry. Sales, marketing, compliance, law, accounting. Like there's like so many different types of people from a lot of different disciplines that work on the business side. And then there's the sport operations side. So I wasn't really sure. I was doing an internship with Yale Athletics during the same summer that I started with you. Mm-hmm. And that was in internal operations. And it was a great internship. I learned a lot, but I just found throughout that summer that my passion really lied in sales. And that's a testament to like learning from you and the Vector program. So I basically, from then on, going into my junior year of college, knew that's what I wanted to fit into in a sports organization. And there's a lot of opportunity in sales to grow your career. So I found it to be a good fit for me, and that's what I went to do with the Mets. I mean, the Mets, it's a great organization. They invest in their people, a lot of time and resources. So it's very similar to Vector, where they care a lot about how you develop as a person and a professional. So a lot of parallels between the two organizations, which made it a seamless transition.
Cool. So you kind of got that itch when you first started, and kind of carrying that to the rest of your career now. And then last couple of questions that I'll ask you here, Marco. So kind of going forward into your career, obviously, you've been working a little bit part-time and everything, just with everything going on. But what are you excited about for the future? I mean, what dreams, aspirations, things that you're shooting for in the next 12, 24, 3 to 4 years? Yeah.
So I'm starting in inside sales with the Mets. That's the introductory sales role there. And I'd like to grow my career internally through the organization into you rise to be an account executive, seller of premium. And I take it one day at a time, like reevaluate my situation constantly, make sure I'm doing the things that are most important to me and they align with my values. So I think that's the path that I want to take and move into management. I want to be a sales leader one day, like you, like my manager at the Mets, Nick Spur. So I want to be part of that group of people that they go out and they recruit and train and develop a lot of the upcoming stars in the industry. Like you guys have helped me along the way. I want to help the people that are coming up next. So that's where I see my career going down there with the Mets.
Cool. So really just giving back to everybody. And again, I think that's one of the things I've always loved about you, Marco. Again, you're just always willing to help out people whenever you can. And then just a last question I'll ask here as we kind of wrap up, Marco. Obviously, I'm going to be showing this to a lot of new representatives on our team. We're starting our winter break program coming up very soon, which I know you were a big part of that January 2019, and let us help us have. I think that was actually our best January we've ever had. I did over $160,000 in sales that month, and if you were to give some advice to brand new representatives, and I know I didn't really prep you for this one, so I'm kind of putting you on the spot.
Yeah,
what would you recommend to new reps who are either thinking about the job and they're not sure? And the kind of two-part question. So like that person that's like, I'm not sure if I should do this or not.
Yeah.
And then when they eventually get it, like, what would you recommend to them when they first get started up?
Sure. So I'll take the first question. I would say just dive in head first. Don't just dip your toe in the water. You got to fully immerse yourself in the content and the training that Vector will provide, just because once you feel it and you know what it's really all about, then you can make a better decision as to whether this is for you or if it's not. So that's the first thing. You got to make sure you give it a fair shot. And I think you'll like it probably. If I'm speaking to a new rep here, you'll probably like it. You'll probably make money. You'll probably meet some great people. And then what was the second part of your question?
You probably kind of answered both, but it's pretty much like once they got accepted and they started the whole training process. I mean, right. We got like 40 people set for training next week. Yeah. So what would you recommend to those new people who are just kind of starting up, or maybe some new people on the team that started within the last couple of weeks?
Sure. So one of the things that helped me a lot starting out was you have a script / roadmap, whatever you want to call it, and it takes you throughout the sales process from the phone call to point of sale. I say in the beginning, it's really great to like stick to that script. It's like proven to do really well for a lot of people. It did well for me. And as you get more comfortable with it and you start to find different similarities in your presentations and how you prefer to run it, it's your own show. And then from there, you can start to like put your little spin on it, make it more unique to yourself, and really create your own brand as far as like you in the Cutco system. So that's a really good thing that I did. I was like sticking to the script to begin with. And once I got more comfortable with it, started putting my little flavor on it, and it worked out. So just build that foundation first.
Awesome. Well, Marco, thank you so much for the tips to everybody. Thank you for again, sharing with us today. Some shameless plugs for everybody. Feel free to follow Marco on Instagram at Fontana4_. I know Marco is very active on LinkedIn as well. It's been one of the places where I've been able to really see his great accomplishments post Vector. And then obviously, guys, feel free to follow me. Subscribe to the YouTube link when I post this up at AaronWinterOfficial.com. Again, we do have a lot of holiday help and winter break work helping coming up as well. So again, little shameless plug. Feel free to check out ctstudentwork.com if any of you guys want to get a little more info, get some of the insights and experiences that Marco had while he was a college student. So again, thank you so much, Marco. You are amazing and fantastic. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. And we're going to talk soon. I know that, but
Yeah.
I will see you. I'll see you later. Have an amazing weekend, and tell the parents I said hi as well. Okay.
For sure. Thank you. Have a great weekend.
You too, Mark.